Hey everyone, it's Ferric, and in this video we're going to be going over all the changes in the summer 2020 update in Wizard101. Now I did want to wait to make this video until after the test realm changes went live because they were actively auditing the spells up to twice a week, and I felt that it wasn't necessary to keep updating everyone on what changes they are making because there are already a lot of other creators that were updating other people. But this is going to be the video that talks about all the changes as they are now that the game is officially in live realm. Now, I also do want to mention that one of the changes is the Beast Moon Monster Mayhem, but unfortunately I can't really show you too much about that change because the Beast Moon event currently is not in the game. But just to let you know about the Beast Moon Monster Mayhem, it's basically just a PvE version of Beast Moon instead of a PvP version, so that you're playing against computers instead of playing against other players. And they also added 3 new beast forms. Obviously I can't really show you that, so let's move on to the next change. The next major change in this update was graphics changes. So the first thing that you'll notice right away, and that you've already noticed, is as soon as you log in, you'll see that the faces on your wizard are different, and that's because they've changed how the default faces look and actually how all the faces look. So actually if I step out here, you will see that I am in the new textures mode. I'm not in classic mode, but even if I go to classic mode and I turn that on, it will obviously change all the Wizard City textures back to classic, but if you look at the face, it's still the new face. So all the old faces have been permanently replaced with these new faces. But if you look at the Magic Mirror shop now, you'll notice that there are new options and everything. So obviously none of the old options exist anymore, but one thing that you will notice is that it no longer costs crowns to make these changes in the Magic Mirror shop, and now it only costs gold. So this is definitely more accessible to everyone. And also, if I were to go out here and create a new character, so it looks like Gamma the Owl also tells you that you can go to the Magic Mirror shop in the shopping district if you do want to make a change now for creating a new character. So that is a thing that they've made more accessible to players now, but obviously the new changes affect the new characters as well. But one thing that I've noticed is that you can actually search for your first name by typing in a letter now, so you don't have to go through this whole scrolling thing anymore. You can now, so if I type in the letter B, it'll go straight to Belgrim. If I go to the letter A, it'll go straight to Aaron. And you can't type in the full name to try to search anymore, or to try to search, but you can navigate to a specific letter a lot easier. And this only seems to affect the first name, so for the last names it looks like you'll still have to scroll for it. Also, one thing you'll notice is that the default gear that you have equipped has also changed. So it looks like this now. The hat kind of has this pointy thing right here. The robe kind of comes out. Instead of that like robe that covers everything, it's like kind of like a jacket now. And you also have different boots now. All right, and the last major change that you'll notice almost immediately if you have certain types of gear, they've definitely changed the way some of the basic gear in the game looks now. So obviously one thing you'll notice right away is you do hold your wand out wide. So that's one change they made. So what I mean by that is that they've changed the way some of the starter stitch gear looks like. So on this wizard I have the Death Elegant hat, the Death Daredevil's robe, and the Death Elegant boots. But you'll notice that they actually look different from how they did last update. And if you actually go to the equipment shop here where she sells all of the starter basic gear, the one that doesn't have the school designs, you'll notice that they've actually changed all of them. So there's definitely like different textures to them. They look basically the same, but there definitely are some differences from the last update with like the textures. So I'm just gonna go through all of them. I wish it started it on black base and trim because it makes it easier to see the differences when it's on black. I noticed this first when I was on my death. So they definitely did change this. Like the Daredevil's jacket is pretty easy. You can definitely tell that they've definitely added like some more wrinkles up here. Go to the Jester's Motley. They removed some of the wrinkles. It's really smooth here now. Yeah, they changed the way a lot of this gear looks. So that is definitely one of the things they changed in the graphics overhaul from this update. They also did some UI changes. So the first thing you'll notice is that when you log into your wizard, you'll be greeted right with the crown shop, which shows the daily spiral tab, which is new. And on the daily spiral tab, you'll see this daily assignments thing. And if you click on it, you can actually teleport to the daily assignments person so that you can get your daily assignment a lot faster. And once you talk to him, it'll actually show what your daily assignment is right here. So you can always go back to the crown shop and see what it is. You also have latest game news, which brings you to the Wizard101 website. It also shows you the latest special events thing that's going on right here. And if you click on it, you can teleport to the event or stay here. It also shows you your PvP thing, and it allows you to teleport to the arena a lot faster. And this is like basically like the daily PvP assignments thing. Shows you your crowns, items that are recommended for your wizard, and it also shows you your most current storyline quest. And if you click there, it will actually teleport you to the area that your quest goes to. So that's the main UI change that there is. They also made another UI change in terms of when you go to your item adjustments or stats. There are now mouse over tooltips. So if I mouse over the health, it'll say 320 max health all schools. So it gives you a little bit of a description on what it is that there is. Because in the spring update, they actually changed the way some of the stats look like. Like for outgoing healing, it would normally say outgoing healing before. To make it more compact, they've added symbols now, and I think they're trying to make a lot of the symbols more consistent in the game. But now you can mouse over them so that it's a little bit easier to tell what they are if you are a newer player and don't know what they mean. Alright, so they've also made some PvP changes. Now, I'm not going to be talking about the shadow meter here. That's going to be talked about in the spell changes. But they did change the way PvP chat works now. As you can see, if I go to favorites, if I go to battle orders, it no longer shows the school of the person that you're facing. And one thing about the PvP chat that they changed is that there are now different categories to PvP chat. You are either going to be a combatant, a spectator, or an outsider. And those are the 3 different categories in PvP chat. Combatants are any of the players that are obviously battling. Spectators are players that are in the PvP area, but they're not in the battle. And outsiders are players who are not in the zone that spectators are in, but are trying to chat with players inside of it. And you now need to be level 15 and rank sergeant or higher to be able to chat in the PvP arena. So you can no longer just come in onto a level 1 account and say anything in the PvP arena if you're a spectator. But yeah, that pretty much does it for PvP specific changes. Obviously there are more PvP changes if you look at the way spells work, but I will be going over that in the next section. There are also 4 new Celestia themed spells that have been released in the latest update, and here they are on your screen. These spells are introduced as spellements, which are created by spell writing. This means they can be upgraded to higher tiers. Credit for all the images goes to Final Bastion. Currently, they are only available through the Celestia Spelemental pack, which are 399 crowns in the crown shop. Alright, now let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that is obviously spell changes. This is probably the most significant part of this update. And I will say this right now, I'll be going over the spell changes as they were from before the update to this new update. I'm not going to be going over the test realm ones because obviously the test realm is going to be changed, and I will be skipping over those. Alright, so first up is death, but before I even show you what the spell changes are, I want to describe one of the changes that's made to one of the in-game mechanics of death, and that is to drain spells. Before, when you enchanted a drain spell, only 2/3 of the actual enchant would go into the damage portion, and the reasoning for this was that 2/3 of the enchant went into the damage, but since you get half of the damage back in health, the way it worked was that the other 1/3 of the damage of the enchant went into the heal, but they have completely done away with that. Before, if I were to enchant Ghoul, which does 160 drain, swap half to heal. Before, when I enchanted it with Epic, it would only do 360 drain, swap half to, because it would do 2/3 of 300, which is 200, and that would add to 160 for 300. But now if I enchant it, it does the full 300 enchant for 460. That's a 2-pip spell, by the way. Just wanted to throw that out there. Also, the way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to show on screen the way the spell looked like before and how the spell is now after the update. I'm sure you can read for yourself, but I'll just read out all the spells that have changed. So for death, the spells that have changed are Scarecrow, Skeletal Dragon, King Artorias, Dr. Vaughn's Monster, Avenging Fossil, Scion of Death, Kisma's Curse, Hall of Krulu, and Winged Sorrow. For life, the spells that have changed are Forest Lord, Rebirth, Gnomes, King Artorias, Spinosaur, Scion of Life, Lamasu, Hungry Caterpillar, and Wings of Fate. One important thing to note here is that Forest Lord and Rebirth have both switched pip cost as well as the level that you train them at, and Gnomes is now an 8-pip spell. For Myth, the spell changes are Earthquake, Orthrus, Medusa, King Artorias, Basilisk, Celestial Calendar, Scion of Myth, Snake Charmer, Mystic Colossus, and Witch's House Call. For balance, the changes are Hydra, Power Nova, Ra, King Artorias, Chimera, Sabertooth, Scion of Balance, Sandworm, Gaze of Fate, and Nested Fury. For ice, the main changes are Frostbite, Colossus, Frost Giant, King Artorias, Snow Angel, Woolly Mammoth, Lord of Winter, Scion of Ice, Snowball Barrage, Climaclysm, and Abominable Weaver. For fire, the changes are Fire Dragon, King Artorias, Afreet, Rain of Fire, Sun Serpent, Scion of Fire, Scorching Scimitars, Fire from Above, and Raging Bull. The storm changes are Leviathan, King Artorias, Sirens, Storm Owl, Scion of Storm, Iron Sultan, Glowbug Squall, and Rusalka's Wrath. As for shadow spells, the spells Dark Nova, Dark Shepherd, and Dark Fiend have all changed. However, they have also changed an important shadow mechanic, and that is Backlash. Now, the way Backlash works is the number that shows plus 10, 20, 30, or 40 is a percentage of damage that you take. Before the update, it would do that percentage of your health that you had at the time of taking Backlash. However, after the update, you now take that percentage of damage as a percentage of your total overall health, which means Backlash can now actually kill you alone. One other thing to mention is that they have done away with the percentages, the random percentages for Shadow Pip chance. Now the way it works is there's Shadow Pip rating, similar to crit rating. It is still rather arbitrary and unknown of how exactly it works, but shadows do appear to come more consistently, and all the gear that gave Shadow Pip percentage bonus has been replaced with Shadow Pip rating. One final thing to note is that KingZa has also adjusted the health value for bosses and also some minions throughout the game. This is obviously to reflect the spell changes as well, to account for the fact that a lot of the damages on spells has been lowered. There's no complete list on every single boss that the health has been lowered, but Malistaire and Dragonspire, his health has definitely been lowered to around 8,000. And in order to find all the updated values for the health, I'm sure the Wizard101 Central Wiki will be updating all these values, so be sure to check them out. Whenever they have the time, they will update the health values. Alright, that wraps up just about every major change that came with this update. If you've enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please be sure to click the thumbs up button to let me know you liked the video. You can also click the subscribe button and enable notifications to be notified of when I upload future content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.